G'day, Aussie Ben. After abruptly cutting you off on the last video, I just corrected a small problem that I'd created for myself where I needed to tell my slime to be forced to the left. Now, to be forced to the left, it needs to be a negative value. And now I'm going to set up my last standard event, and I'm going to tell my slime how to go to the right. So if the slime variable of go left is equal to 1, add force to the slime with a positive 50 on the x-axis. Force to slime 50, 0 on the y. Done. So there are a number of things that we had to do there, so I'll just backtrack and recap. First of all, we had put in a couple of just markers basically to tell the slime don't go past there. We gave them names of go left, go right. Then we started to create some events. And the events were that if the slime collides with that marker called go left, to set a value of 0 to the variable called go left, and if the slime happens to collide with the go right marker, set that same go left variable to a value of 1. So go left, which is a variable that belongs to slime, can either be a value of 0 or 1. Now, these next two events that we created then check, and they say, okay, if go left, or the variable go left, if go left happens to be set to 0, push the slime in a certain direction. If go left happens to be 1, push the slime in the other direction, on the left-right. So negative 50 will push it to the left, positive 50 will push it to the right. Now if I've done that all correctly, I should now have a bit of a automated slime movement happening. Okay, so looking good. Still lots of things to fix up, so let's just have a quick playthrough of that. So we've still got to make it so we can attack the slime. We've still got to make it so that these obnoxious markers aren't visible, but they're still there so the slime can work with them. One step at a time though. Okay, so again, just a warning, that is a complicated issue, the use of variables, and yeah, would take some discussion with brand new game developers on how this concept of variables works. We're going to use variables again a little bit later to put up some scoring system for us. Now, just a bit of housekeeping. These actions here that I had disabled, I don't need them at all, so I'm actually going to go ahead and delete them. And that won't affect my game at all, and it'll just clean up this area here for me. Okay, so what I'd like to happen is I'd like for these things to just be invisible as soon as the game starts. So I can set up an event for that, and the event will look like this. Let's see. Actually, I might be able to do this by just setting up an action. I'm not sure. Hide, go left, hide, go right. I have a feeling that's not going to work. I've got a feeling I have to say at the beginning of the scene over here, but let's just give it a try. Yeah, well, there you go. It works. And they're hidden and the collision is still working. So that's great. Nice and easy. So all we did there was we added a new event with no condition, and which is basically it's saying as soon as the game begins, make sure this happens. So hide object go left, hide object go right. So what we need to do now is to be able to destroy our enemy. So I'm going to add a new event, and I'm going to say if I'm colliding, so if the hero is colliding with slime, I might like to delete the slime. But that's a bit easy. That means if I actually even walk into it left or right, it gets deleted. I want it to be only if I'm sort of jumping and falling on it. So I'm going to add a second condition here. So if I'm colliding with the slime and I'm also falling, hero's in collision with the slime and I'm falling, delete it. Let's just check that that little bit of logic works. Again, it's a good habit to continually check these small changes that they're actually working before you go too much further down the track. Whoops. There we go. Beautiful. Now, what we could, one other quick thing that we can fix before we get on to talking about scores and things like that. The one thing that this lacks is that our little character here doesn't flip backwards and forwards as it changes directions. You might remember in Event Viewer that we had created a flip option for our hero. If a key's pressed, flip the hero and don't flip the hero. We need something similar for our enemy, except it won't be a key press. So we could say if the enemy's colliding with go left, flip it, and if it's colliding with go right, don't flip it. So let's give that a quick try. New condition, collision, slime, colliding with go left, and so if it's colliding with go left, that means he was going right. So at that point I do want to flip it because by default it's facing to the right. So if I want it to go left, it needs to flip. Flip, flip, flip. Flip object horizontally. Slime. Yes, I think that needs to be lowercase. And then one more. If our slime is colliding slime with go right, add a new condition, we want to flip, but remember this was the special case of flipping. Flip our slime, and we say no, which means just return it to its default flipped state, which was facing right. Let's see if we've got that working. And then after that, we can go on to have a look at how a scoring system can be developed. Okay. It's working, but I've got it back to front. So I'll fix that in the next video. That'll be easy to do, and then we'll talk about our scoring system.